to review the Anastasia Prism palette. And I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about this. Like, I feel like everyone's so obsessed with like Morphe right now that they're like forgetting about all the other eyeshadow palettes. So yeah, I really wanted to try this because I love Anastasia eyeshadows. It's probably one of my favorite, just like the best eyeshadows that I've ever tried. I do love Morphe and Makeup Geek and, you know, all the other eyeshadows, but I think Anastasia is like pretty much one of my favorite brands, and their eyeshadows are just so blendable. Like the Modern Renaissance palette is my absolute favorite. But anyway, so this is what the Prism palette looks like. It's super similar to the Modern Renaissance one. So when you see the Modern Renaissance, and they're both, you know, same size, similar packaging, they both have like the velvet kind of feel to it, which I think is really nice. Like it's really luxurious. You have 14 different shades, and I was really drawn to this palette because these are not shades that normally would come together in a palette. And they've got some shades that would really make you go out of your comfort zone when it comes to, like, you know, doing your makeup. Because I feel like when I have just like a neutral palette, I pretty much do the same look all the time. So if I had this in front of me just on a random Tuesday, I'd be like, oh, I kind of want to play with that sparkly green today. And then the brush that comes with it is a double-sided brush. This one's a little bit denser, and then this one is a little bit fluffier. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this color right here, Unity, and I'm going to buff that all in through my crease, and I'm going to use the brush that it comes with. Now, just, you know, right off the bat, just dipping into it, there was a lot of, I don't know if you can see in the palette, like there was a lot of fallout in with the palette, and like when I go like this, like there's a lot of fallout with that. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to make a huge difference. I feel like the Modern Renaissance palette isn't like that much fallout, but we'll see. I'm just going to take this and buff it in my crease. Okay, so that is a pretty light color. So, but I mean, so far so good. I like this. You can use this as a transition shade, or you can use it all over your lid to mattify. It's just a really light color. I think I'm going to take this color called Lure right here. And I'm going to do the same thing and just buff it in the crease. Ooh, I really like that color. These shades are blending really nicely. And they are pigmented, but you don't get a lot of fallout like on your lid, or like on your face, you know. Wow, I really like the formula of these eyeshadows. I feel like Anastasia doesn't really get enough recognition for her eyeshadows. Like I absolutely love them. Okay, so then I'm going to take this color called Eden. It's a little bit, it's more of like a peachy. Ooh, I just dug my nail in that shadow and just made a dent. Okay, so that's more of like a peachy color, and I'm going to take that on a little bit of, oh, I should probably use the other side. Yeah, I'm going to use the other side of that brush. I'm going to use the other side of this brush and kind of do the same thing in the crease. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with this shade called Parallel. It's like a super like fudgy brown. I actually don't have a color like this in my collection, or not a color that I like actually. I just really love how you need like one dip of these colors and you get, you know, a lot of color payoff. I'm gonna go back in with that light Unity shade and use it to kind of blend this top area. I feel like with that parallel shade, I got a little bit of like an inconsistency right here, if you can see. Not too bad though. I feel like with a little bit of blending, you could just blend that right away. Like it's nothing that would make me like not want to buy this palette. I'm going to take a little bit of like a flat shader brush and I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Sphinx. I don't know how to pronounce that. And this is a more of a chrome, you know, glitter shade. Oh yeah, I did forget to mention, in this palette you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shimmers, or they're more like glitters, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mattes. So the mattes are blending really nicely. That darker brown was a little bit tricky, but nothing too crazy. Now I'm going to go in with some of the shimmers. I'm going to go without Fix Plus first just to see how it goes, and I'm going to go in with that kind of, it's kind of like a rose gold with like an undertone of brown in it. Okay, so right off the bat, there's not a lot of, you know, color on my brush, but we'll see. Okay. That gives a nice wash of color. It's nothing too glittery like I was expecting, but that does give a pretty nice wash of color. It's a super pretty eyeshadow. I'm going to spray my brush a little bit with some Fix Plus and go over that to see if I can get any more shimmer out of it. A little bit. Okay, so as expected, you know, wetting your brush with Fix Plus, you'll get a little bit more color payoff than if the brush was dry. I'm going to go in with this color called Pyramid. It's kind of more of like a gold, but it's definitely more of like a yellow tone gold. And I'm going to do that as like a pop in the center of my eye. This one you get a lot of color coming out of it. Oh, I really like that color. It's a gold, but it's not just like a standard gold that you get in every palette. And with these glitter shades, there's really not much fallout at all. Which is good because then you can do your face makeup first and you don't have to worry about the shimmers falling out onto your face. Actually, I'm going to go in with this shade called Saturn. It kind of reminds me of Morocco from Anastasia. So just in case, you know, if you want a similar shade to that. I think Morocco is just a little bit deeper, but, you know, super similar. And I'm going to go ahead and blend. I like that color too. I think like a burnt orange like that is just like my favorite. Okay, so here are all of the shimmers. Super pigmented. The only one I'm not happy with is this one right here called Osiris. In the pan it looks like a shimmery purple, and then when I swatched it, it kind of almost looks like black. So that's this one right here. I'm actually going to try using Lucid as a highlight shade because as you can see, it's not as, like, I thought it was going to be more of like a metallic silver, but it's really not. So let me try using that as a highlight shade. Okay. Actually, that is a really pretty highlight. I was going to get the Subculture palette, but I just decided to get the Prism palette because I hadn't seen any reviews on it and I can really give my honest opinion and I don't have like other reviews in my head already. So yeah, that was my first impressions. I am so excited to create more looks with this Prism palette. That's really what I wanted in a palette, is I really want to look at a palette and I want to feel inspired. I don't want to look at a palette and go, oh, I can create a similar look to something that I've already created. So I'm glad that this palette did that for me. And yeah, so if you were hesitant on getting the palette because you didn't think that the colors are for everyday use, just get the palette, because if you're into makeup, you don't want everyday use. Like, you want something that's, you want to be, you know, look like a new, you know, like you're going on the red carpet every day. That's just what I want in my life. Like, there is no everyday look for me. So yeah, I really like these products, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.